Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Have any of you ever been to a blackout restaurant? Yes, a couple. It's completely dark inside, no glimmer of light anywhere. You are escorted to your seat, you order your food, and then attempt to eat it without being able to see anything. I went to the one in Tel Aviv. The wait staff are all blind or visually impaired. It's an incredible experience, becoming aware of the challenges in navigating the world without sight. And as you go through the meal, as you all imagine, your other senses are heightened and become much more important to the experience. The food actually tastes different, or at least I was much more aware of taste and texture. I was at the Jewish Educators Assembly conference this week. The JEA, akin to the Rabbinical Assembly and the Cantors Assembly, is the conservative movement's professional organization for educators. At the conference, I was reinstalled as a board member beginning my 7th year on the board with a new portfolio of adult and family education coordinator. The conference featured an incredible lineup of presenters on topics and resources relating to teaching about Israel, conflict education, embracing diversity through universal design, and more. We also davened, with services led by our conference attendees. One morning, my colleagues Mandy Cheskis and Rabbi Suzanne Brody led a creative shacharit service. When we got to the room, we were asked to put on talitot and tefillin outside the room, and then we were given blindfolds. We were escorted into a completely dark room, asked if we preferred to sit next to someone or on our own, and helped to a chair. After about 10 minutes, everyone was seated, and we began. As we went through Sukkot Zimra and the beginning of Shacharit, I had an entirely different prayer experience. Standing and sitting back down was complicated, not being sure what, if anything, was in front of me, having to focus completely on my balance, since these chairs did not have arms. Gathering my tzitzit for the Shema was solely by touch, finding the edges of my talit and then the tzitzit. We were already blindfolded. Did we also have to cover our eyes? But more than these logistical challenges, to be in the dark with no idea where my colleagues were seated in relation to me, hearing voices from the dark surrounding me, not having a siddur to look at, changed the prayer experience in ways I never would have imagined. It felt at once more intimate and more removed. I like to daven in kahila, in community. So with this, I felt alone. I wasn't able to make eye contact with friends, to share moments together. On the other hand, there is something amazing about being in a room with people who are all focused on the words and the music, including harmonies, and learning some new melodies. Before the Amidah, we removed our blindfolds and spent a few minutes discussing and processing the experience because educators. For the Amidah then, a few of us were invited to write a kavanah or a reflection for each of the brachot. We spent a lot of educational time teaching how to daven the Amidah, the words, the nusach, the choreography, and of course our tarbut's focus is on Shabbat prayers in preparation for Bar Mitzvah, but we almost never take the time to actually think about each of the brachot within the weekday Amidah. Instead of davening straight through, we shared our reflections or kavanot and then concluded with each blessing. This was impactful in an entirely different way from blackout davening. The words of the fixed prayers are just that, fixed. We often recite them by rote, but when we stop and breathe and truly reflect on them, the words have meaning and resonance for us today, often in very different ways, and even those change over time. I was invited to reflect on Mikabetz Nidchei Amo Yisrael, praised are you God who gathers the dispersed of the people Israel. At this moment, my thoughts could only go to our siblings in Gaza yet to be returned, and it is of course my greatest hope that this meaning, in this time and space, will not be the one that comes to mind in the future. Every time I leave this conference and time with my friends and my colleagues, I am energized anew. These two experiences were absolutely incredible in a way that I am excited to find ways to inspire those in our Tarbut program as they are getting closer to Bar Mitzvah to experience the different tastes and textures of prayer while finding personal and contemporary meaning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.